This video was created by Violent Pika, a Violent Pika lover.
Hello everyone, this is Pika Lover here, back with another Borderlands 2 video, and today I'm going to be talking about the best Jakobs weapons. We've got some really good sniper rifles, some nice shotguns, and assault rifles and pistols, that kind of stuff. And we've got all the elemental Jakobs weapons featured in this video. Without further ado, these are my 14 best Jakobs weapons starting now. Number 14, the Cobra Sniper Rifle. Now, usually some people think it's bad. It's basically a pretty good sniper rifle. However, it's not the best of the best of the sniper rifles. One thing that makes the Cobra real good is that the Cobra is an explosive weapon, even though it doesn't say that on the weapon card, or as I like to call, the rubric. It usually has good base damage, the accuracy is high, and the reload speed is really good. And the explosive gimmick of this gun can sometimes be a little bit quite powerful. However, the downside that it does have is that it's a bolt action. Turns out I figured out what bolt action means. And it's the exact reason why I hate Blue and White Birdie and the Godfinger, which I'll go over in my other video. A bolt action is something where you pull on something. That's why I said in my pearlescence video, and my video of weapons that don't fire as fast as you can pull the trigger. But anyway, to get the Cobra, you will have to kill Pete's burners in the beatdown. However, in True Hunter mode or normal mode, this will require a save editor. And yeah. Number 13, the Stink Pot. Now, this is my opinion, but I really like the Stink Pot. Basically, if you're unfamiliar with the Stink Pot is a corrosive grenade launcher made by Jakobs, and it fires grenades. It's based off of the Jakobs cannon. No Beard has used it. Speaking of No Beard, he's the guy that drops the Stink Pot. What this thing does is that it fires as fast as you can pull the trigger, and the grenades do really nice corrosive damage. It does pretty nice damage to armored enemies like robots, that kind of stuff. And it gets pretty better and decent and accurate. And yeah, I don't have much to say about the Stink Pot. However, furthermore, I think it's a pretty decent gun. And to get the Stink Pot, just like what I said, it could be attained from No Beard.
Number 12,
the Trespasser. The Trespasser was pretty good. I thought it was going to be a bad weapon, but it actually isn't. It's a pretty good weapon. It's not the best, but it is a really good and decent weapon. So, what the Trespasser does is that it's a bolt action sniper rifle where the ball hunters go on the thing, and when you fire it, and notice when you fire it at an enemy that has a shield, the Trespasser bypasses shields, making critical hits with this thing really good. And the Trespasser has pretty nice damage. Don't have much to say, but that's kind of why the Trespasser is pretty nice. So anyway, if you want the Trespasser, you'll have to complete the quest called Animal Rights. You complete the quest from Mordecai. No DLC required. Just go to Sanctuary and talk to Mordecai, and just do the quest to get this prize.
Number 11.
The M2828 Thompson. Now, I'm not a real fan of the Hammerbuster, but I'll go over that in just a second. Well, after this video. But the Thompson is basically improved. The original thing that I didn't like about the Hammerbuster was its poor magazine size. However, the M2828 Thompson has that problem reduced. Matter of fact, it has even high magazine size. So, don't be afraid to click on your mouse very, very fast. And that's kind of what gives it the overall pretty nice DPS. And I was trying to I was trying to figure this out from one of the videos I watched. I was trying to remember what I referred to. However, it's a reference to the M1628 Thompson. And if you want the M2828 Thompson, you will have to dig the grave. You will have to dig the grave in the doll abandoned. That's what it was.
Number 10.
The Amigo Sincero. So yeah, the Amigo Sincero is a really good sniper rifle. I like it a whole lot better than the Trespasser. However, the Amigo Sincero still has the same weapon effect as the Trespasser, which is to bypass shields. Something that makes it real good. Number 1, higher base damage. Number 2, not a bolt action, which increases the fire rate just a little bit. And has high reload speed. However, the one and only downside that the Amigo Sincero has is that it has the blade, which that means on the gift save editor you will not be able to choose a different effect that buffs up the damage, accuracy, fire rate, blah blah blah. You will not be able to do that, unfortunately. So basically you're stuck with your blade. But if you still like the Amigo Sincero and want it, Just complete the quest BFFFS in the Pfeiffer Sanctuary DLC.
Number 9.
The Hawkeye. This may sound crazy to y'all. Some of you may not like the Hawkeye, but I think it's a real great sniper rifle in my humble opinion. One thing I really like about the Hawkeye is that the Hawkeye doesn't require the Vault Hunter to pull on the thing for the next bullet. The Vault Hunter doesn't have to pull on the handle for the next bullet. And the accuracy is highly improved. The zoom on the Hawkeye is way better, regardless if you have like a Jakobs scope or Hyperion scope or blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. And it still has pretty high damage, and it's basically easy to score a critical hit with that thing. And if you miss, you're not screwed. You'll be fine. And because of the good accuracy, you'll still have a chance to aim for the peeps' crit spots, like the heads or drifters bubble things like blisters or something like that. And yeah. And if you want the Hawkeye, it can be attained from Veracitus, Deciduous, Triplo, or one of the Sir vendors.
Number 8.
The Skullmasher. Now, some of you guys may not like the Skullmasher. I know why. The 5 projectiles don't have tight spread, and pretty bad at farther away combat. And it's pretty high recoil, but I can't let those problems get the best with me when it comes to the Skullmasher. The Skullmasher has really high critical hit damage. If you're a little bit closer enough, you can have the projectiles hit the head, and that could still do really nice damage. And because it's not a bolt action, the fire rate's pretty good. And it's still kind of a good weapon. And the magazine's size is pretty high. And yeah, if you want the Skullmasher, it can be obtained from the Son of Mothrak.
Number 7.
The Hot Mama. As of one of the elemental Jakobs sniper rifles, the Hot Mama is real good. This one is basically my favorite. It's my favorite elemental Jakobs weapons. However, it's one of my favorites. However, one thing I really like about it, when the Vault Hunter pulls on the thing, they pull it really, really, really fast. Basically, it improves the fire rate. And with the fire element on the Hot Mama, it makes bandits and sandworms take more critical hit damage with this thing. Other than that, I don't have much to say, but I'm really happy with the Hot Mama. And if you want the Hot Mama, your best bet is to kill Lieutenant Hoffman. Number 6. The Greed. Even though it's one of the sightless pistols, which I'm not really that much of a fan of, the Greed can still be good. However, one thing I really like about the Greed can fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, and it has higher magazine size. And because it's a fire element, you can use it on creatures and bandits, and it has really high damage. It has pretty high DPS, and because the fire element of that thing makes it even better. And it can have pretty high critical hit damage. However, you will have to be good with dealing with iron sights if you want to use the Greed. However, it's still a really good weapon. And if you want the Greed, it can be attained from Captain Scarlet after killing Roscoe. Number 5. The Triquetra. The Triquetra is pretty good. I thought I wasn't going to like the Triquetra, but I guess I really like the Triquetra. Get this. It even kills in threes, just like what I said. However, what the Triquetra does is fires a Triquetra projectile pattern. And the Triquetra has really high critical hit damage. And with the Triquetra pattern, the Triquetra can have a chance to like hit an enemy's head, still do like really high critical hit damage, and the fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, and the Triquetra can still have pretty good DPS. And if you want the Triquetra, you will have to complete the quest, Clan War into the Rainbow. Number 4. The Gatling Gun. However, if you don't know what the Gatling Gun is, it will not. However, it won't show up on Lutomon because it's a non-unique gun. So, the Gatling Gun is a non-unique gun that has the Vlada minigun barrel. It's a Jakobs assault rifle with the Vlada barrel. However, one thing I really like about the Gatling gun fires 3 projectiles. However, it still consumes 3 ammo per shot. And which can make it really good. It has really good critical hit damage, and it has pretty good accuracy. And it's real good, and it has pretty fast reload speed. And that's kind of why I really like the Gatling gun. However, if you want the Gatling gun, you will have to get it from any suitable loot source. Number 3. The Maggie. So, if you do not know what the Maggie is basically a shotgun pistol. Basically, what this shotgun pistol does The Maggie fires 6 projectiles with a cost of only 1 ammo per shot, which gives it really high damage. Still able to like hurt other enemies. Like it's really good for killing enemies. And the critical hit damage with the thing is really high. However, I don't really have much to say, but the Maggie is really good, and if you want the Maggie, you will have to kill McZafford during and after the quest called Zafford vs. Hoda. Number 2, the Twister. Man, the Twister is really, really good. If you're unfamiliar with the Twister is a shock elemental Jakobs weapon. The Twister fires a Twister projectile. Basically, there's nothing niche about the Twister. The Twister's tornado pattern can like do really good critical hit damage. And when it hits the enemy, it literally hurts them. It literally does high damage to them. Really good for killing them. And the accuracy is really good. And if your enemies have a shield, that makes it really helpful. And if it has a shield, no problem. It's a shock elemental one. It wipes shields really fast. Then it finishes them off. This thing is basically a demolisher. However, the downside that it has is that it doesn't fire as fast as you can pull the trigger, even though it does say that. And it has slow moving projectiles. And the Twister can only be obtained from O. Number 1, the Becca. Out of all the Jakobs weapons, the Becca is my favorite. I love the Becca. However, one thing that really sucks about the Becca is to wait to get it. It requires only UVHM. Otherwise, you'll need a save editor, which kinda sucks. But I really love the Becca, as the Becca has high critical hit damage, and the Becca fires one projectile, then it has a projectile behind it, then follows the other. And it goes the same direction as the first projectile. First the first projectile goes, then the next projectile splits into 3 and goes. And if you hit them in the head, it shoots them in the face twice. And if you want the Becca, you'll have to use a save editor for normal and true Valhalla mode. Or you can kill tubby enemies in UV. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap up this particular video. If you guys like this video, if you guys did, please be sure to give it a like. And as always, my name is Pika Lover, and I'm see y'all later. Peace!